Welcome back to BLOCKTV, and you're watching Trader's Take, where we get to break down the charts with BLOCKTV's analyst, who is located in New York, Mr. Joe Saz. Hi, Joe. How are you?
Excellent. Thanks. How are you, Iran?
Good. It's great to have you on to kind of break things down. So last week we had kind of I would call it a pivotal week. A lot went down. There was a lot of volatility. People were confused and afraid, and I feel like people are still feeling those feelings. Can you please break down a little bit of what's been going on with Bitcoin from last week to now?
Yeah. So let's break that down. I still think I should have some win in the little BLOCKTV competition. But,
yeah,
I'm still a little salty about that.
So for folks at home, we had a nice little poll on what Bitcoin would be amongst the staff here within a 24-hour period. Joe technically won, but our editor-in-chief Ron kind of took it home. So Joe's salty about it.
Salty. All right, so let's jump into the 15-minute chart. All right, so we've seen, like, we were talking about these less organic-looking dumps, more organic-looking fear selling, and it's just been kind of pretty intense lately. I actually, after all this bearish action, what I see is let's switch this from 15-minute to a bigger time scale, because this is what's starting to change my bearish narrative. We're on a 4-hour right now. And it looks like we're pretty clearly making an ascending triangle, and this is what's scaring me a little bit. I actually had to exit my short position. I got stopped out, so we're gonna just let that be for now. But you can see we're clearly making an ascending triangle formation here, and the statistical probability is a breakout to the upside, and I'm actually not really too optimistic on how high this breakout could go. I think that we might be looking on a short-term time scale at a run-up to maybe 10.8 or so around here. Why around here? Why around 10.8? Because I feel like there just isn't enough money coming in. There isn't enough money ready to pump the price that high. What I see happening is a small move to the upside, a small little FOMO breakout, and then a continuation of the trend. Now, let's go back to the fundamentals, right? Because this, Bitcoin is, in my opinion, a combination of an observation of external narratives, an observation of the psychology in the space, as well as a layer of a couple indicators. And obviously everyone has their different methods, but we are looking on a technical level back to onto the daily. We're looking at this is a green 1. I was expecting this to be a 9 buy, and let's just consider this a 9 buy. It might as well be, right? It's the thing is, right now this would mean that we're probably looking at a 1 to 4 candle pullback. Let's see where this is. So it's kind of funny. I guess the 50 moving average is at 10.780, which is just under 10.8, which is my pullback target for this breakout of that little ascending triangle I was showing you. But then that would put us in a really interesting position, because we're kind of creating this pennant formation as opposed to a descending triangle. This would be a descending triangle. I don't really believe we have that. I believe we're building something with a little more, angle to it. So it's kind of hard to say. I want, as you know, I kind of think that this run was a little funky to begin with, so there's this bearish bias in me at times, and I have to step back from that. As you know, when I attempt to take a vacation, which has now turned into, instead of an actual vacation, it's turned into like 2 hours a day where I sit on my deck.
Yeah, it's like you took a vacation and everything went to shit, and you're like, what did I do? It's because you took a vacation, yeah. Joe. I don't know if you're familiar. Are you familiar with the Bitcoin fear and greed scale? Index, excuse me. So yeah, I mean, we're currently in a time where everybody's feeling extreme fear. Now, apparently for those who are kind of reading into this in a positive way, they're trying to be kind of glass half full type of people. They're saying that no, this is good because of the FOMO and everything that's going on. The price will now go down. Everybody's extremely scared, but then it'll be a buy the dip kind of incident. So it kind of depends how you're looking at it. So what do you think is going to happen in the near future with Bitcoin?
Yeah, the thing is, I think people I saw were trying to use that as a bullish outlook. Now, I'm going to show you the difference between greed and fear, and basically this is just it's an inverse of the same coin. What you have at tops is greed, and up here, this is greed, right? Serious FOMO buying and dreams of moon Lambo talk, all this stuff. So this is basically, in simple words, this is euphoria. This is bullish euphoria. And on the opposite end, we have bearish euphoria. So it's the same emotion, in my opinion, just split between bulls and bears. And so what's the question is, and that euphoria typically marks tops and bottoms. So we had an unquestionable euphoria at 20K. I mean, the space was lit up with Christmas lights and everything, it was just lit up. Now, we didn't really, that's the thing. Around here, I didn't see the bearish euphoria that I was expecting. I saw what was simply just a fundamental breakdown of a descending triangle without the emotion, with a little bit of the emotion, but not the same caliber that we experienced on the upside, which I was, expecting to happen probably in between these two bars, which we came very close to. Now, the thing is, we're kind of doing that again. At 7K, people started going nuts. People are giving away Bitcoin. Retweet my tweet, share, give you $100 in Bitcoin. All that kind of stuff is coming back. Now, on the weekly, it's really hard to tell. We have inverted hammer, but we are supported. We have inverted hammer, but they're fighting. Downside move, we've got pump back out, bullish engulfing candle, inverted hammer. It's been really difficult to call. And let's bring this even back to the daily, where this is what's throwing me off, is because we're sitting on 3 reversal candles for the most part. I mean, maybe this one, this 8, this red 8 right here is a little questionable, less of a hammer, maybe more of a spinning top. But we definitely had a reversal candle here. We definitely had a reversal candle here, and we just haven't popped yet. And now that we have, let's just consider this for my argument's sake, a 9 buy opportunity. I'm expecting these candles plus, this pseudo bullish candle plus a sequential indicator potentially signaling a small buy. Now, it's just, that's what throws me off though, is that these 2 candles should have been really bullish in my opinion. And that goes back to where's the money coming from? There isn't money.
No, absolutely. You were saying, I mean, there's always that kind of speculation. What is it? Who's going to do what now with their money? These whales manipulation. Occasionally, you're thinking it's natural movement. We're all happy about that, but then something happens, and you kind of can't see that. You know what I mean? There's no person who could tell you whether. It doesn't matter if you're the best analyst in the world. Yeah, you were going to say something?
No, it's a coin flip. I'm being serious with you. I'm a volatility junkie, I guess. I trade on a 15-minute chart, and I'm betting on which whale, which is it, bearish whale or bullish whale? Which one's coming next, and that's what it's down to.
Yeah, so definitely have to keep looking out and seeing until people come together, know what they're doing, and the stuff doesn't happen anymore. Now I want to kind of shift gears. We never talk about IOTA. Ever, but there is a new Twitter poll that was published by Vice Crypto Ratings asking people, and I'm quoting here, if you had to choose between these 4, which one would be your favorite? So the options were Bitcoin, Ethereum, EOS, and IOTA. And out of 3,126 votes, IOTA won. Now this is a really huge surprise. It was, especially for me, just because it's not a very popular altcoin just in general. It was making headlines at one point, I believe a year ago. People in comments were kind of citing interesting things like the Tangle. You know what I mean? They're doing DLT in a different way. It's not necessarily a blockchain. They're working on the Internet of Things. But I'm so curious if this, because I mean, even the fear and greed scale that we were speaking about before runs on social incentive, right? They go through social media and they see what people are talking about and kind of gauge it in that way. So there is something to say about things like this then affecting the market. Can we see if that's what went down here?
Yeah, let's take a look. No problem with taking a look there. The first thing I saw when I was looking at that chart was 62% of people might have it wrong. I liked the 38 that were interested in Bitcoin. So, all right, let's just look at this on a quick weekly, and then we'll jump down to daily. Wow, this is not looking good. What the heck is this? I just want to see the high of this candle. The high of this candle, it was valued at 1 Bitcoin at one point in time in the vicinity of May of 2018, early May 2018. A little bit of buy volume. All right, so I mean, on a weekly scale, this is a relatively new cryptocurrency, or reported by, let's see, Huobi. Let's just see if there's any other exchanges with a longer timeline. IOTA, BTC, Huobi, we have IOTA. All right, let's just stick with what we have. We might not have as much data as I'd typically like, but we have a little bit of data here. Now, this thing seems to have been just on a free fall. We've been blowing through buying opportunities like this right here. We had a single candle act, followed by a 32% move to the downside. What the heck? Man, this thing is on fire, but the wrong kind of fire. This thing's on burning on fire. A small move to the, I guess 36% move to the upside. It's not small, but this is, when I talk about pumps and dumps and, on altcoins, this is what traders look for. A 30+% move is a little more typical in alts than it obviously is in Bitcoin. This is, I'm just seeing a little bit of opportunity here to make money. Let's drop this down, but it's looking terrible. It's looking like, this is what I was talking about, that coin flip that we were just discussing. This is a coin flip right here. Which one is it going to be? Am I gonna exit and flip the coin? Is it going to, am I going to lose 30% in a day, or am I going to gain 30% in a day? And keep in mind, losing 30% at a higher value is losing more than gaining 30% at a lower value. So you can see, altcoins are a big gamble. Now, it looks like there's a lot of traded volume recently. So there's something that's been happening recently. I don't know everything, the external narratives with IOTA, but it does appear that we had a lot of action recently. So that's interesting. I wonder if that's why they're even on the radar, because it seems like we were just kind of,
But then can I ask you this? So based on kind of what you're seeing, and especially because you don't know much about IOTA at this point, which is actually great for us, do you think that people that are investing in this are people who have like a vested interest in the company and the IOTA Foundation in some way? Or do you think these are people who believe in the tech and kind of want their 2 cents in there?
Well, look, most people that are invested in altcoins believe in the tech. Right? That's one of my problems with this space, is what is a blockchain practically able to be used for, right? It's a combination of distributed ledger technology with cryptography and consensus through proof of work. Now, it was designed to be inefficient, so why would you use an inefficient process to try to enhance the internet, right? It's just not going to work. So that's why one of the areas that I place altcoins in is delusional innovations. And this could very well have this amazing narrative of what IOTA plans to bring to the blockchain space, what it changes, what it enhances, etc. But the question is that a realistic idea, or is it a pipe dream? A centralized pipe dream of a group of devs with support. Now, looking at the chart, and this is all speculative because I haven't followed this, but this looks like support from the community. And I mean, a lot of these projects end up selling their amount into the supporters. So I mean, there's a lot of violent selling going on not long ago. It seems like, if you can convince people that you're selling something good, or you're producing something that will be worth a lot of money, then you have support, and that's what this looks like. But then we have people that are putting serious pressure against those supporters and causing all-time lows upon all-time lows. I mean, we look back at the weekly, and all we have are lows. We have a little bit of a bounce here. We pumped up a little bit. And this thing fell in a vertical line to the downside. So a little bit of support, and then we just completely destroyed it on the way down. One time support, maybe 2 times support, just shredded. The same thing, completely shredded on the way down. Now we're on a 9 buy on the weekly, but again, the altcoins are a little different than technical indicators suggest, in my opinion. But we're losing a lot of ground to Bitcoin, and that kind of concerns me. If I was, if I had a friend that was, saying, "Yo, Joe, I just went all in on IOTA," I would be a little concerned for their financial well-being. We're just sitting, we're floating. That's the problem. When you see stuff like this, all-time lows, you have what you're in is a price discovery area. And as you can see, every other price discovery area has led to further downside action. And so we don't know what the value of this is. We know that it is currently 2,383 Satoshis, down from 1 Bitcoin. So, I mean, we're down significantly from what someone was willing to pay for it just in 2018, May of 2018, early May 2018. So that's what concerns me. This is really interesting. How would this have enough votes to, something like this in a complete free fall? That I feel like the Weiss ratings are completely compromised right now. How could they look at something that's struggling and suffering with all-time lows upon all-time lows and consider that a wise investment? I just don't see,
but that's why I was curious about because I can see that when people are into the tech. And this is a Twitter poll, you know what I mean? It could be that one IOTA lover was happy because they also had a weird choice of coins there. You have Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and then EOS and IOTA. It's kind of an odd choice of 4 coins. So, I mean, there's definitely something further going on there. Some IOTA person retweeted it with a lot of followers, and all the IOTA people flocked. But that's the thing with this fear, is that it's so based in FOMO. And that was, I think, the poll is kind of the perfect proof of that. Again, I am kind of a fan of IOTA in general. They have kind of a nice idea that's, I think, I mean, if you look at it that way, ahead of its time, right? Because they're like, the blockchain thing already happened. What can we do that'll be important for the future and could potentially work? So, I mean, definitely something we kind of have to keep up to date on and to see. So headlines are generally, I mean, after last week, after something like Bitcoin dropping, so you either have a headline that says Bitcoin dropping, Bitcoin surging, or the market is correcting itself, right? Going in with the market is correcting itself. XRP has had a bit of a bounce following last week. Can we take a look at what's going on there?
Yeah, and I just wanted to add that as a Bitcoin maximalist, I don't believe in stagnancy. I believe in innovation, but I believe that if you are experimenting, that you shouldn't be convincing people to give you their money, especially if it's something that might not work. Now, all right, we're on to XRP. Yeah, XRP relative to Bitcoin. Now we had a price spike relative to US dollar as well. So let's take a look at that. I feel like we just looked at this and it looked the same. I'm just going to take a quick look at the weekly. Ooh, weekly is not looking great. We're in some of the lowest support areas that we've ever been relative to Bitcoin. Let's take a look at that XRP US dollar because that's probably going to be the best looking chart. All right, we're on weekly. Let's get out of here. This is reported by Bitfinex, not my favorite exchange. Wow. Oh, all right. Could this be that breakdown that we've been talking about? Now, I don't know if you remember. It looks like all my lines and everything got messed up. In fact, you know what? Let me just reload this, and it should reload with everything because we need to see if this broke through. All right, this did break through the setup trend line, and we had a terrible close beneath it. And as we see here, all right, 11.79% moved to the downside, and we broke way beneath this this support line that dated back all the way as far as, I mean, I don't even want to go back all the way through the years. But this was a long-standing support line, and it's pretty sad that we broke it. The support line goes back, early 2018, so back to the daily. This price move isn't anything really bullish in my opinion. This is just a rejection of these low prices without really much follow through. I would say this would start looking bullish if we were able to pump up here, and that's typical in something like Bitcoin where you'll see a flash crash, and it's called, some people call it like a tweezer bottom or something like that, like where you have a very short period of time where you have a lot of price action, and it involves a steep low and a return. So what we're looking at right here is just some people BTFD, buying the fancy dip. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that this is good. This is actually quite terrible, and I've been saying for a while, if we broke through this line is on the table. We've barely been supported by it. The bodies of the closes of the candle have supported this. Now we're just looking at, I think, people buying the dip. Now, this could mean that we just go sideways for a little while, because typically XRP is relatively calm. I mean, obviously, we're excluding some of these outliers, but other than some of these big price moves, XRP has probably had the longest, most sideways action across the space. In Litecoin, it's been going up and going down. Ethereum up and down, Bitcoin up and down. And Bitcoin mostly up, right? But XRP, we have a long sideways channel here that's been broken, and now we're testing the lows of it. So it's getting pretty dangerous. I wouldn't be bullish on XRP right now. I do think that there is potential for a small move to follow this, but the fact that we are not bouncing out of that terrible range with velocity is going to worry me a little bit.
Right, maybe the XRP army is waking up a bit, right? Earlier this month, we had an amended lawsuit with the SEC that's kind of developing. But now again, there was an announcement that it's investing in something else, so the partnerships aren't ending. Maybe the people of XRP are waking up a bit, speculating less. There's kind of a lot going on with XRP that's unclear in general. I know you have lots of thoughts on this just in the general scope of things, but definitely something we have to keep our eyes peeled at, because again, number 3 is it cryptocurrency, so we have to keep talking about it, unfortunately for you, Joe. But thank you very much for breaking those down for us, and for all you folks at home, keep watching BLOCKTV.com for more cryptocurrency and blockchain related news.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.